If you're going out to win hearts and minds, you gotta win the kids. They call me a carnivore influencer. I've been a carnivore influencer for 2 years. A carnivore influencer in this space. In 2 years, I've attracted the attention of and subscriptions of just under 45,000 people. These 45,000 people don't hang on my every word. Most of them have not seen me, heard from me, or watched a video of mine in most of those 2 years. But subscriptions are a measurement of a channel's success. And in those subscriptions are those few dedicated fans that really listen to you, respect you, and rely on you for insight and truth. That by itself is not surprising. And that story is probably shared by many people on YouTube. 45,000 viewers is still a relatively small channel. But I was thinking, am I doing any good? Is all this work and effort and talking and thinking actually going to affect the world 50 years after I'm gone? Or is it just preaching to the choir of people that are like me, which is a huge minority in this world? I'm 78 years old. There may be one, but I haven't found it yet. I'm probably the oldest carnivore influencer on YouTube that has achieved 45,000 subscriptions. Every once in a while, somebody older than me pops up, stays on for a month or two, gets a small following, and then realizes this is not what he thought it would be. And the small following that he got, in fact, most of the large following that I've had over the years is made up, according to YouTube's demographics, of people 65 years old and older. If you're a 65-year-old or older, let me requalify that. If you're a 40-year-old or older and ever tried to teach a kid anything, you soon realize that, according to these kids, you're already stupid and they know everything. Which leads us, including me when I was young, in spite of all the warning, all the caution, all the teaching, all the education, we all must make every stupid mistake in life on our own because we know better. The old adage is so true, and it's the way kids think. The older I get, damn, the smarter my parents become. That's amazing. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as many times I say to myself, as an old man, and I am an old man. There was time in my 60s when I could say, well, I'm still at the upper end of middle age, but I'm pushing 80. I'm an old man. Most men my age, more than half the men my age, don't make it to my age. They're dead. They haven't made it to the average lifespan of the American male. With every year that passes, I become a member of a more exclusive group of people. I think less than 1% of the population, maybe 2% of the population, is as old or older than me. Now, that would be great if children respected their elders like supposedly they used to. But not in this day of social media, where the kids live in their own world and are exposed primarily only to children. They don't have the benefit of their parents' or grandparents' wisdom because they're locked in their room with their stupid cell phones, talking to other stupid kids about stupid things that don't matter and have no interest in their health, in diet, or anything else that doesn't relate to their social life, boys and girls, stupidity. As an example, let me say, think about this. How many children, and let me qualify what I mean by children. To my mind, a child is anyone less than 25 years old. Why do I say that? 25 years old is the age when the brain finishes connecting everything together. Before 25 years old, you can have a high IQ. You can remember vast amounts of information and regurgitate them. You can compute things. You can be a mathematician. You could even be a millionaire and have a successful business because you've learned a few simple rules, like buy low, sell high. But until you're 25, the human animal does not really have the ability or the computing power for rational and critical thinking. All these kids think they do not. They don't possess it. Critical thinking is necessary to weigh consequences, to play 5-level chess, although some children can be great chess players. They can master the moves of the game, but their brains are not ripe yet. There's always an exception or two, but I'm talking about the majority of the people. With that in mind, and understand I'm talking about humans under 25. How many kids do you know that are carnivores and know why? I'll give you a second. How about 0? I don't know any kids that are carnivores. They're immortal at that age. The reasons we went carnivore were more than likely our health got out of hand, our weight got out of hand. Our parents didn't know about carnivore. They taught us that sugars are treats and rewards for us doing the right thing. I remember that's how I saw it. That's probably why I'm a raging carb addict today. They didn't know what they were doing. On the other hand, how many kids do you know that are woke? Sexual confusion, don't know if they're boys or girls. Radically liberal in their politics. Does it make you nuts? Have you tried to teach them politics? You're more than likely conservative. It's been said that if you're young and a conservative, you have no heart. Conversely, it's been said if you're old and you're a liberal, you have no mind. The difference between the two is something they call wisdom. Wisdom only comes with age and experience. You're not born with it. I like to think that at my age and with what I've been through, I have gained some wisdom. It's an important thing to have when you get old. I don't think like I used to when I was young, and I don't expect kids to think like me. The point of all of this mental gymnastics is to point out that I'm preaching to the choir. Unfortunately, that choir has no influence over the kids. Most of this choir, within 20 or 30 years, will be dead and gone, and the world will be left to these kids who really never got to benefit from any of our wisdom and what we've learned over a lifetime by doing the wrong thing, suffering for it, and finally figuring out why we suffered and making the changes. Now we're helping ourselves. In that respect, I think I'm doing a lot of good on YouTube. There are many, many, many people who thank me for changing their lives, and we're all getting better. We're all getting better and healthier. But are we changing any kids' minds? I don't think so. Maybe a few, very few. But nothing that has gotten very far in their culture of wokeness, social media, and all this other stuff that we look back on and we laugh. In politics, the liberals know this. Hitler knew this. If you're going out to win hearts and minds, you gotta win the kids. You have to win the kids. And we had the Hitler Youth Movement. The whole woke agenda is focused at the grade school, high school level. They have ruined our kids and pretty much taken away any hope of a sane future for any of them. I don't see carnivore influencers on YouTube trying to figure out some way to make it hip and cool for young kids to be carnivore. We haven't thought up reasons why it's cool and hip and trendy to eat animals. Not with the animal cruelty crowd. We haven't really aimed a campaign at them to prove that eating animals is probably the only way to save our environment from things like climate change. But the opposition sure has gotten their message to the kids. The kids are getting further and further away from the truth. The kids are the ones that are marching and demonstrating, and those old farts are getting better and healing and learning the truth on carnivore. But according to all of those kids, we're just stupid old people. What could we ever know? I think we need to aim at trying to get more young people down the ladder to really learn about carnivore. It's hard to do when they teach that other nonsense at all the schools, medical schools, nursing schools, dietitian schools. But somewhere we have to figure out a way to start getting our message to the young people and somehow making our message hip and trendy. Or else, 20 or 30 years, they all are going to have to learn the same lesson the hard way by getting sick and suffering. There'll still be people around talking about carnivore, that's for sure. But we will never, ever change the entirety of our culture unless we start aiming it. Now, am I the guy to do that? They don't respect me enough now to tune to my channel. Only us old people do, and occasionally we have some great people in their 30s and 40s. But the kids, they're not interested in Grandpa Mitch. We've got to find and educate, promote some hip, young, carnivore people, if they're out there, and there are some. Help them grow their channels. Help them become in. Help them elevate to the million subscriber mark on YouTube, where they can now start to influence these minds who will become the world, and hoping when they finally have families, they won't make the mistake that my mother did and raised me as a carb addict, just begging for that next sweet treat. It's just some food for thought. I'm doing the best I can. You guys take the rest of the day off and eat meat.